Hello, everyone. It's episode 87 of the Fitness Business Growth Podcast. Now, if you've just watched 86, you'll see that Mitch and I have changed chairs, trying to make it look like we haven't filmed back to back.
Definitely didn't just happen about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, but it is March 22nd. No, sorry, December 22nd. Is that right? 23rd. 2 days before Santa arrives.
And it's a great time of the year. Good weather.
Yeah.
Love the Christmas food that's upcoming.
So based off the back of last episode, our biggest lessons of 2024, we want to do our predictions for 2025, and it's even going to be more woo-woo than the last podcast. And it's a simple topic. And what we're going to talk about is personal problems show up in business. And we find people that have erratic personal lives tend to have erratic businesses.
It's more of a type of person more than the environment they're in, it seems like. It's crazy because we sometimes hear like an owner that's, they're changing buildings or they're changing business names or they got rid of their GM, and they're also the people that book a call and do this and then change their mind, and ads have been on for 2 days and they're worried because they haven't been getting many leads, and it's just seems to be aligned with the type of person they are.
So one thing I want to discuss, and it's a huge topic when it comes to personal problems show up in business, it is, how do your personal expenses affect your business? And let's rewind the clock. 2014, working at Anytime Fitness, a new owner took over the gym and fired us both. It hurt a little bit. Bit of a mistake because we wanted to start the biggest boot camp in the history of the world there in the same town. But at that point in time, what we don't often talk about is me and you have always been both disciplined with our own personal savings. And when we got fired, I think I had about $35,000 and you had $50,000. And that gave us enough time to not go out and get a 9-to-5 job. It gave us enough time to work. We're like, what are we going to do next? What are we going to invest into this new business? Because both of us knew one thing, we just weren't going to get a job.
So we were in that role for about a year, maybe not even. We were managing, we were running personal training, we had an outdoor boot camp. So we made like a really good amount of money back then. Before that, we'd been traveling, so we had no money. So we saved up all that money in that period. And I still remember when it all happened, and we knew that we weren't going to be keeping that job. It was a real fork in the road moment, because we could have said, well, shit, like we need to go out, we need to get a job. If we had a car loan, if we had like big rent, if we had credit card debt we're paying off, and I
had a Mazda 3, you had a Honda CRV.
We had none of that. So on top of that, we had a bunch of savings. So it gave us the time to be able to sit back and really decide what we wanted to do next. And it didn't take us long to decide that we wanted to go all in on this boot camp that we had been running just as a bit of a side thing. And within 6 months, we had over 100 members for that, and we were back making good money, and life went on.
And over 12 months, we had 509. And it all started from that, like, we were disciplined in our own personal lives to not, when we were earning good money, go out and buy the Ford Ranger, to buy the watch.
Yeah. And for us in that point, it would have completely changed what we had to do at that point.
We might not be friends.
Well,
if I had zero and you had $50,000 and I had to go get a job and you didn't,
start the boot camp without you.
Yeah.
So we hold this one really close to us, because at that point it could have gone the other way. We could have got jobs. We could have never started our gyms. We definitely wouldn't be doing this now. So we see it have come completely full circle. And for anyone who is, we have a few people in our business, one in particular who kind of looks up to us, because we've kind of done a lot of the things that he wanted to do, and we've always said that about expenses and being smart with your money allows you to have more opportunities as you move on, because you're never forced to do something you don't want.
And he just bought a house.
Couldn't
be more proud of him.
And the whole happiness part of it for us, like we never had to do something we didn't want to do and all of that. But reason we bring it up here now is because we see it with owners, we see it with our clients, where their personal beliefs or where they're at in their personal life ends up rubbing off in their business.
It wasn't just then, mate. It happened again in COVID. it's a running joke with our partners how relaxed we were March 20, because we actually opened up a gym that day. But again, we realized that we had enough money saved that, like, if it was shut down for a month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, that we would have been okay, and the business would have came out the other side.
Yeah, it was the joke that ScoMo delivered his. It was pretty late. It was about 9:30, and he delivered the news on TV that all small businesses were going to close down the next day at 12 p.m. And me and Jamie were messaging, and then I went, "Oh, it's time to go to bed." And then I went into bed and fell asleep because we had money behind us. We had these good businesses, and yes, it was tough, like it was for every business. If we had $500 to our name, I would not have fallen asleep that easily.
Yeah. And when we say we had money behind us, it's not like we were earning millions of dollars
No.
then. We just didn't buy. We bought a Mitsubishi Triton as opposed to a Ford Ranger with 4 sick rims. Like, just like, it's just the little things that really add up over time.
We always just valued the quality of life, the not need to have the finer things in life, and our freedom, and with that came money. And then times when shit happens, like it has happened a few times over the years, we've been okay to be able to get through that time with enough money behind us to be able to get through it, and then live to fight another
We
day.
also bought a gym like that because we had money in the bank account.
I think with COVID, like there were so many businesses that shut down in that time because they were already on thin ice,
Yeah.
and then just that obviously it was a drastic event, but that was enough just to really put them into the ground.
And this is the most unpopular advice we'll ever give on the podcast. I have a 2019 Mitsubishi Triton. You have a
It's nice, new
2017.
2017.
Both have over 100,000 Ks on it, and we're making jokes with our partners like, "Hey, like we're going to give these cars to our kids." The idea of going and spending $80,000 on a Ford Ranger is crazy. I would rather that 80K in the bank for not if shit happens, but when it happens. And when it happens, I back ourselves in to fix the business or to fix the problem or to hire the staff member or to take up that new opportunity.
And this is why we're talking about it now. Like, if you buy whatever car you want, do whatever you want to do. But for anyone with a business, and we can only speak from our experience, we have just found it to be so helpful. And when it comes to money spent on the business versus money spent on themselves, that's where I feel like it is viewed so differently. Like people see $1,000 a month as being like a fucking waste of money on ads, and they're so mindful. Oh, we haven't got a return on this, and yet they will go and upgrade their 3-year-old vehicle and get a new vehicle, and with that comes like a $1,500 a month loan payment.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't really care about that because you're driving around in your nice car, but yet something that could actually help your business grow and get more members and make more money, it's so painful for you to see that money going out each week. It's the same money. Yes,
It's the same bank account.
And obviously the ad account is tax deductible. Like it's a business expense, and maybe your car is as well, but not to the same level. So we know plenty of people where they are so resistant to advertise, or they're so resistant to hire a staff member to be able to give them some of their time back, but yet they spend money on shit.
Say $1,500 a month on the shit car loan, or you can pay someone 20 hours a month, like, and you can get 4 mornings back a month with your family.
Well, something we always did was as soon as we built up our business, we would hire people and we would end up removing ourselves from sessions so we could do the thing that was going to move the business forward, which is market and sell and plan and strategize and do all those things.
We always talk about how lucky we've been with our staff, and we have been lucky. They've been amazing. To this day, we have amazing staff and there's low churn because we also paid them well because we weren't stressed about money. It really is like personal problems show up in business. If you have bad personal finances, the emotions you carry into business, like how would you deal with it? Imagine you went out and bought your Ford Ranger. You got your 4 sick rims,
Nice.
tinted windows.
Oh, yeah.
Then all of a sudden, 4 of your favorite members send a cancellation email. It would ruin the car purchase.
And you would not take that line down. You would probably say something you shouldn't say to a client, call them or email them or message them. And for us, like, if you listen to that last episode, like if you haven't, go back and listen to it. But talking about focus on the things that's important. So there are a lot of owners that they don't have much time. They run a lot of sessions. They are doing admin. They're doing all those things. And it's like, if you were able to hire someone for $500 a week that could do 5 blocks of sessions, $100 a session, maybe it's more, maybe it's less, around that, like how much time could that buy you back? And we both at the moment, we like Dan Martell, who has a whole book on buy back your time. And we're not saying pull $500 out of nowhere, but maybe there are other parts in your personal life where you are spending that money.
Yeah.
And then again, we can only speak from our experience, but we have always rather invest that money into that so we could do things that are going to help move the business forward and also just live a good lifestyle. To have a business that we don't hate. Like we never hated our business ever.
Never, ever.
Because we weren't actually delivering that service all the time. If we were in there, it was out of choice, or if someone was
It was
sick.
a fun event. Like,
So we had businesses that we truly enjoyed running. And I am yet to meet someone who loves running a full block of group sessions every week. And it takes its toll on you. And how much would you have to pay to remove yourself partly from that or completely from that? And then the question becomes, well, what other aspects of your life could you change?
if you have a big car loan and you drink, there's enough money for you to buy back half of your life.
Gambling.
Gambling.
People spend so much money on gambling. And again, spend your money on whatever you want. But if you're spending a couple $100 a week on gambling,
Yeah.
I would rather pay someone to run a couple of blocks of sessions a week.
So a good example.
Plus tax deduction.
Yeah. So a good example is I got my kitchen renovated. It was 2022, but I spoke to the kitchen man or the designer. It was just in between the two COVIDs. And I spoke to him and said, hey, mate, I'm thinking I'll get my kitchen done. He said, mate, just like, we're not out of this COVID bubble yet. Just wait a year. And it happened again. And imagine if I spent $100,000 on the kitchen, how differently I would have responded to that second lockdown. Like, also just us in partnership, like our personal life expenses are pretty similar. Because if you had a caviar lifestyle,
and just the day like business is like not every week's the same and not every month's the same. You have good weeks, you have bad weeks, good months, bad months. And it just allows you to ride that wave more easily without overreacting or being erratic or changing your behavior, changing your strategy. Like if we have a bad week of advertising or a slower month of advertising, yes, we will like look at what's not working and then try to change it. But we're not saying, hey, we're not going to advertise because we need that money. And I'm sure if anyone is listening, you might think, oh, it's all well and good for you to say. But we went through this years and years ago when we had
we're not sitting on our fucking ivory tower over here.
We did it, and we took the time to save our money to have it for a rainy day, and there are plenty of those rainy days.
We've never had a business loan.
Never had debt.
Never had debt.
Oh, like credit card debt.
Yeah.
Car loan, mortgage. And if anyone is in a position where you do have some savings and you do have some money behind you, I'm sure you don't feel the stress of business the same way that you would if you didn't have it.
Yeah.
And we both want a life where we enjoy our business, we enjoy the fruits of the labor that comes from it, but we want to be able to sleep well at night. How often do we talk about the sleep well at night factor?
Yeah.
And there are certain decisions that I'd love to have a new car.
Yeah. So
I really would.
4 p.m. last Thursday, we went to Walls End Pool together, took your son and went swimming in the afternoon for a couple of hours.
That was nice.
It was nice. But if we didn't have the money in the business to provide to staff, or we were stressed about making more money, we had to step back into that role, like it would affect your ability to be a fucking dad, like let alone a good business owner.
So we have just seen it make such a drastic change for us over the years and even now.
It's also the reason why we probably haven't any fights in business either. Like imagine if we were both broke, personal expenses out to wazoo, our business was losing money, and then you didn't complete a task you were supposed to, and I found out about it. Or you didn't onboard someone correctly, or you didn't do that sales call, or you were late.
I'd be getting up here for not closing sales.
Like, yeah. So our prediction for 2025 is like, you need to make your bed. Like you need to have your personal life in order to be a good business owner. Because it's the same thing.
And there are things that you can do, like if you do have the car loan, you got debt, like there is a way out of it.
Yeah,
like there really is. Like you can make changes, but we've seen it at both ends for us personally and other owners that don't have don't have the financial worries. Not to say they've got like this big thriving business, but they've just been smart with their money where they can ride the wave. And then we've got other people that are like, listen, I need to make some sales this week, or otherwise like might not be open next week. And they're also driving a nicer car than us.
Yeah.
So it just is, especially for small business, there are things in personal life that really are limiting what you can do in your business.
Next step of getting your personal life in order, go to the gym, get some sun, get your step count up, just be as healthy as possible. And if you're healthy as possible, it typically means that you have a good routine. And if you have a good routine, you probably work off a calendar. And how important is your calendar in your life?
Yeah, well, it's probably like if we weren't working with gym owners, this would probably be more prevalent with people in bad health. But if you got no energy, not working out, like you're not being active, then it's going to affect what you do. If you're drinking a lot, if you're eating shit, like you're just not going to have the energy to do the stuff you need to. It's so obvious, but like we see it, gym owners like they work out less than their clients. Well, they don't work out.
Lots of gym owners.
So because you get so stressed and you're so busy doing all the bullshit tasks that don't make any difference, and it all, we keep coming back to the same thing because it all relates. It's like you need to put your time and effort and energy and money towards the things that truly matter. And if they don't, then just don't do them. Just don't do them.
Yeah.
And that's where you can delegate it out, or you can just remove it. There are some things that you can just remove, and your life is no different. Your business is no different. So
Yeah.
it's more just again, we're kind of flipping around a bit here, but there are things that you can do every day that make you feel better, so you can work more productively. And then when you're in that mind space of working productively, you need to focus on things that are actually going to help.
And why this is so important and your personal life do show up in business is because all the tactics are out there. I posted them.
There's never been more information.
On our YouTube channel, there is the exact way that me and you build lead generation campaigns. I've shown you the exact way that we call leads, nurture leads, follow up leads. I've showed you the exact way to get people to show up to phone calls. I've given you a 90-minute script breakdown of me reading out the script. There's call recordings of myself and my team on YouTube. You've got all the fucking information. But if you're undisciplined in your personal life, then you're probably going to be undisciplined in business, and you're just not going to do it.
Well, you for your clients, like there are so many free exercise options that people can have. You can buy home gym for a fraction of the price that they pay you every year. No one does it. So it's not just us. It's not just you. It's not just your clients. Like it's everyone. And if you can master your discipline and do the things that you're supposed to do, and I don't care about. I mean, live your life however you want, but in business, like I said, it all relates.
Yeah.
It really does. So that's where there are things that are cancerous towards your business, and a lot of time it's the personal things. If you drink a lot, if you gamble a lot, like if you do drugs, like again, do whatever you want, but it is going to impact your business, let alone everything else.
Yeah. Don't sleep with your members. That'll impact your business.
So there are some really obvious things that if you stop doing, it would help. And then with the time that you have, the refocused time that you have, you just need to do the things that are really going to matter.
Yeah. Going back to calendar for a second, in terms of like predictions for 2025, the most organized, structured entrepreneur that executes at the highest level, doing the right things, is going to win. And for me and you personally, I can't think of a more important tool than our Google Calendars. Across our entire company, every single person is on a Google Calendar, and we see what they're doing every single day. And we don't do it to micromanage them. It's for themselves to have reminders, because we're all forgetful, and they change that task from blue to green, get that little hit of dopamine. It's like, I think it's probably the biggest thing that we've done in our business to drive as much productivity as we do.
Yeah, well, we didn't work off a calendar for a long time. And I mean, there would have been a lot of stuff that we just didn't do or follow up. we're always good with sales,
Yeah.
following up sales, because that's what really mattered. But yeah, we are so much more organized now, and I think it's another big takeaway of the last, well, probably the last 1 to 2 years. Like, we are just much better operators now.
Especially you being a dad.
Yeah, like there's I've had less time than ever just to do, to work and to work out and to see my friends. But I feel like I'm still doing it all because I'm diligent with my calendar and I'm disciplined with my time. And it's crazy when people say they don't have a calendar. Like, I don't know how they get anything done.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, that's just I don't know if that's so
Well,
much a prediction as it's just something that people should keep doing.
the prediction is that the organized entrepreneurs get the most done. And like, I'm going to make a video one day of how I use my calendar. Because I think if you saw how I used it, people think, oh, I don't want to add stuff to a calendar. That's adding more work. But on Sunday at 8 p.m., if you sit down for half an hour and add things to your calendar and build out your week, you can put things that are reoccurring weekly, reoccurring monthly. It's a one-time activity for you to open up your phone, look at your calendar app, and then literally one by one chip away at that, change the event from blue to green. At the end of the day, everything in your calendar is green, everything's done. That's a day you can be proud of.
And then you don't need to be anxious for nighttime when you're like, oh shit,
It used to happen all the time to
I
me.
didn't do that thing, or I forgot that thing. I better do that tomorrow. And you write it in notes, and then you kind of don't do it, and then it just
Yeah.
ends up coming back. So
So using Dylan again as a good example. So Dylan, one of our first ever hires for fitness business consulting, he was an online coach and he was burned out. I'm like, well, what are you doing, mate? He's like, oh, I'm just always replying to clients. I'm always making content. I'm always thinking about it. And then you put him on a calendar 9 to 5. You have his thinking time in the calendar. And at 5:01, he can truly clock off and be present with his partner and his dog.
yeah, it's a big one. And I think the busier you are, well, everyone's busy, but like the more things that you do, like with kids, family, partner, if you're doing any other commitments, like the more you need to use it.
So imagine if you've got really low expenses in your business and your personal, you have a whopping savings account. And then from there, you're really healthy. You've got tons of energy. And then from there, you use a calendar where every single important task is in there and you execute daily, weekly, monthly.
And you're doing the things that truly matter.
It's impossible to not be successful. And that's where, like, again, personal problems show up in business.
I feel like we might finish it up here in a sec, but we're just so much more organized. I think that's like in a nutshell, like that's what it is. It's just being organized. It's being organized with your calendar. It's being organized in your life, organized with your expenses, organized with your health, organized with your time. So you can still do all the things you want to, and then meanwhile still move your business forward because you are prioritizing those things.
Yeah.
Because you're organized. You know what you've got to do, and then you put time aside to do it, and then you actually do it.
A question I've been asking myself at the end of the day is like, am I proud of what I did today? 3 categories: health, wealth, relationships. Was I nice to Ellen? Did I do the things in business
so.
I had to do? And did I go to the gym? If the answer to those 3 questions is yes, if you do that every day and you stack the days, you stack the weeks, you stack the months, again, like, probably going to have a good marriage, probably going to have a good business, and you're probably not going to be morbidly obese.
I agree. It's been a big change for us the last few years, and I don't know how I'd live without a calendar now. Just with work things and life things, and still being able to do all the things I want as a dad and business owner and staff. Like we've got this really good sized business with a lot of moving parts, and we feel as though we're managing it well because we're organized.
My baby appointments are in the calendar because I'll forget. Like, it's almost like people think they're smarter than they actually are. You're going to forget. Like, just like make things as easy as possible. You can be great at sales or you can be great at making sales. And there's a huge fucking difference. Because if you're great at making sales, you do the basics. You text them to confirm their call. You text them in the follow-up process. You send them information prior to the call. And I just think that, like, I am so distracted. I am so unorganized. I am messy. So I have to do the opposite of those 3 things. I have to keep a clean workspace. Everything has to be on my calendar. And the only things on my calendar are things that actually matter. And I think a lot of people that start businesses are like me, where they're just excitable by everything. And they just chase the next fucking shiny object. 12 months goes by, nothing happened. And they're fucking burned out.
And then you just got to actually do it, because there would be people that have great intentions, working out, eating well, in their calendar, do this, do that, and then you just don't follow through with it. And then you just change the calendar, you stop looking at it, you don't mark it as green, you get used to seeing blue instead of green.
And that goes back to, like, if you know what to do and it's in the calendar and you even set your environment up right, and like what stuff's happening in your personal life that is preventing you from doing it. Do you have health issues? Are you tired? Are you lethargic? Are you arguing with your partner? Do you have no money and are you stressed? It's almost like we're both massive fans of Sam Ovens. I'd encourage any of you to go back into his podcast, to listen to every single episode. They're 20 minutes, half an hour. They're about 5 years old, and all he talks about is just like, make sure you're healthy. Make sure you don't eat shit before you start work. Make sure you go to bed on time. Like, it's the most basic things.
Because nothing kills productivity like those things. Staying up late, boozing, eating shit, no energy, and then you wonder why you maybe gloss over your calendar, or you don't do the things, or the work you do sucks because you don't have it. So it's hard for us just to talk about one thing here, because it all is interrelated. But it seems it seems, what it was the saying, it's like it's easy to do, but
easy not to do.
Easy or hard to follow. Like it's
never been easier to make money. It's also never been easier to do nothing.
Yeah. So it's really just, and that's discipline, right? Like, it's just doing the same thing and going to bed at the same time and eating the same thing, and not gambling, not doing drugs, not drinking excessively.
And we'll end on this. Our prediction for 2025 is the most energetic, disciplined entrepreneurs that focus on the things that actually matter will win. And it's the exact same thing for your weight loss clients. The clients that show up consistently, the clients that eliminate all of their negative habits, if they do it consistently, they're going to be successful. And the people that you get really annoyed by, really frustrated by, because we were annoyed by them, that don't follow your advice, don't follow the plan, and then piss and moan about not being in the shape they want to be, what do you think of them? And I would encourage you to look in the fucking mirror.
A bit of hypocrisy, isn't it?
Definitely is. Well, guys, episode 86, last podcast for the year. We really do like making this podcast. I like getting guests on. We're going to continue to make them moving forward. And I guess 236 subscribers, mate.
That's all right.
Get a fair few downloads a month.
How many?
It's a secret, mate.
A couple hundred?
No, more than that now.
That's all right.
More than that.
A couple thousand?
Couple thousand?
I don't look at that.
So, guys, thank you.
Not on my calendar.
It's not your calendar. Not really important.
I got no idea.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a lovely, lovely day, and have a lovely Christmas. Bye.
Bye, everybody.